That was a good mission. Let's get started on building things and researching things and promoting people.
No.
Commander to the research lab.
Okay. So, base side of this game.
Hello, Commander. My name is Dr. Valen. I oversee the research labs.
Hello.
This is where all of XCOM's research and development takes place. We have already begun analyzing the artifacts recovered from our first encounter with the aliens. Based on our preliminary findings, we believe we can use them to develop some new equipment for our soldiers. With your approval, we will begin research immediately.
We shall fight them with science.
Actually, one thing I really like about the Long War mod, which I should mention now, is well, basically what was saying before this. Actually, I'll go into that in a minute. We have the missions, and we also have the base management, which includes research, engineering, and barracks, which I'll go into each of these individually. Research is basically we can set our scientists to be researching something. We've got xenobiology, which requires 3 sectoid corpses and will take 15 days.
I forget what you get from that.
This is completely different to well, I say completely different. I think xenobiology is one of the few things that is kind of the same, as it basically leads you to it basically allows you to do the dissections, and eventually leads towards you capturing aliens. But for the most part,
I think we need to do weaponry anyway.
Yes, this gets us a scope, which is one of my favourite early game items.
Yeah, especially if you want to actually have a decent sniper to give you some support.
That's it.
18 days, damn.
That requires 3 weapon fragments. Yeah, as I say, this is a long war mod.
I realise our troops have to put their own survival first, but
yeah, you weren't
every
kidding.
alien we
Lives
use
up to its
explosives
name.
against is one less opportunity to recover new artifacts.
Just ignore Valen, I think, there. Go to engineering.
Ah, Commander. I was wondering when you'd be stopping by. Welcome to engineering. Anything they can dream up in the research labs, we can build it here. Speaking of which, Dr. Valen has just sent us some new schematics. With your approval, we will begin fabrication.
Fabrication? What kind of clothes do you make?
No, don't question. Wait, no. We both. No.
Why did they put us in charge? Why?
Oh god, more fool. Right, so here we can basically build and buy items, as this says, and we can also build facilities.
Yeah, facilities first.
But if
Um,
want to
how
expand
much money
our
we got?
facilities,
We have
we're going to have to start
$755.
excavating beneath the base.
Um,
the deeper
I
we
would
go,
say excavate
the more
something
it's
at
going to
first,
cost.
because we're going to start needing stuff in a few days.
It's worth excavating when you can. I typically, if I have room to excavate, I do so. I'd recommend also building an access lift. This is 2 of our 30 power. We've already got 22 used.
It's tempting, but I don't think we need stuff right now. So hang on, let's just click on something and see what we can build.
Okay.
Commander to the situation
So
room.
we have the laboratory,
Commander to
which
the
increases
situation
research
room.
speed by 20%, and for each adjacent one, it's 10% extra.
Now, before we go through each one, there are ones that get bonuses for being next to one of the same type.
Correct.
So what we need to do before we start looking at things to build is work out, for example, the power generators. Where are they going to go?
Well, power generators, I'd recommend we get them here. The downside to that is that we need to build 2 access lifts before we can start building power, because we need to get down here. And we're not going to be able to build anything else in that time because it'll only leave us with 2 spare power.
Okay, right, we'll build another access lift.
Okay.
Work crews are on their
A
way
bit
to
costly,
begin
but
construction.
it'll pay off in the
I'll
end.
send word when the new
Yeah,
facility
because
is
we could just
operational.
put 4 power things in the top left, I think.
Commander to the situation room.
Could, but we've got a satellite uplink here. It makes sense to kind of make use of that. Like, I usually dump all my satellite uplinks in this area here.
Okay,
So, and then there's 4 that are adjacent to each other.
so what we're going to put on the right side?
Considering we've got nothing kind of in the way here, we've got no steam areas, which would be better for thermo generators, I'd recommend having workshops, maybe doing science labs down here, and then if we need any extra workshops or science labs, we can dump them in the middle here, and they'll be adjacent to the ones either below or above.
Okay,
Commander
well,
to
let's
the
just get
situation
one
room.
down for now.
Commander to the situation
As I say, we're
room.
not going to be able to actually, if we're wanting to get the power here, we're not going to be able to build anything until we get the power up. Because we've only got.
Okay, well, let's just have a quick look at what we can build for now.
Okay. Actually, that said, it's 4 power. Sorry, I miscounted. We can actually build either a laboratory or a
Commander
workshop.
to the situation
Now,
room.
the lab is obviously for
Commander to the
science,
situation room.
and the workshop is...
Reduces item cost by 10% and gives 10% refund on materials. Multiple workshops have diminishing returns and discounts, so they can't exceed 50%. Each adjacency counts as half an additional workshop.
Okay, what's the laboratory again?
Increased lab speed, like research speed, and
Okay. That speed, yeah, is useful. However, our funds at the moment are limited, so I'd say the first one should be a workshop.
I do agree with you there. But before we do that, it might be worth just looking through the rest. We've got satellite uplink as well, which we can't actually do because that's 5 power.
Yeah.
But that basically allows us to have extra satellites with an extra +1 capacity for every 2 that are adjacent. Fission generator, which we're not going to be really bothering with, at least for now, if we're going for the thermo generators, which are better and more efficient, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Like, that's
We might need to build one.
maybe,
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how we, if we need to, we'll build it. This is the foundry is brilliant. It's basically it gives you access to what is effectively another area of research.
Commander, to the situation
You can only
room.
kind of go into them
Commander,
once
to
you've
the
had
situation
Dr.
room.
Varlin research them, and then she basically gives you recipes to further
So-
research into.
Okay, so it counts as a workshop for adjacent stuff. So again, we don't want to build one just yet.
Not yet. We couldn't either way. It didn't have that.
We
didn't
want
have
to build
power.
a workshop now.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, I don't know if.
Okay, there's one thing I have to ask. I don't remember this from the base game, but there's an option to build quickly and research quickly.
That is new to Long War. Basically, you can expend extra resources to get it done quickly. However, at this point, we've not got the resources to do that, which is why I didn't really mention it.
Commander, to the
Also, I
situation
didn't think
room.
about it.
Commander,
I'm
to the
gonna
situation
I'm
room.
gonna pretend it's a smart reason. Okay. Next is build by items. Now, this is something new
Sawn-off
and
shotgun.
fun.
Ooh.
That goes in the pistol slot.
Oh, okay. That
And-
interests me because before I used to like having a sniper as my main type of guy, which I might do again in this one. But the backup was always a pistol, which means if you messed up, you're gonna die.
One thing I will say is it's unfortunately limited to only 4 of the 8 classes, and sniper is not one of them.
Of course it's not. Of course it's not. Now,
Commander, to the situation room.
we're gonna need one of them at least.
Well, bear in mind that they cost nothing. Because they've got, I don't know if there's a glitch or not, but basically as long as you have shotguns, which you have infinite of anyway to start off with, then you can build as many of these as you want. So we could literally build, I don't know, 99 of them, but I'll submit an order for 10 just because we won't ever need more than that.
Well, it's free. Sure, why not? Now, okay, we are gonna need satellites. It's 2 by default, is it? Unless it's changed.
No, it's changed. You have 1 and it's already in the
Commander,
air.
to the situation room.
We don't have any satellite uplinks. We're not going to be able to build any before the end of the month, so
Yeah.
it's not worth building a satellite this month.
Okay,
Um,
but we don't have a shiv.
Shivs are useful in this game, basically just as a meat shield more than anything else. But there's
Yeah.
also a lot of upgrading of these guys you can do.
Yeah, I mean, I had a brief look on the Steam page for a shiv, and I do think we're gonna need one just for all the utility things they have.
They do have a lot of utility, and they've got damage reduction as well as having a lot more health than a typical soldier.
Yeah.
So I'd recommend we build a couple just so we've got spare.
Can you name them?
Yes, you can't change their look, but you can name them.
Okay, because I just
get
have.
one for our team.
Well, first of all, yes, but also I do have some names in my mind of what we could call them. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
I do know one guy that's
Commander,
named
to the
them
situation
after
room.
Sean Bean
Commander, to the
characters,
situation room.
and he calls the floaters Lassiters. Or, yeah. No, what's the name? The Game of Thrones reference, I forget the bloody thing. A lion or whatever they are, always pays his debt.
Now, hold on, what was the bottom one?
Oops, sorry.
Autoloader.
Confers 1 additional burst from a mechanized unit's primary weapon. Oh, so this is basically something you can give the Shiv,
Commander,
which
to the
is
situation
worth getting.
room.
If we're getting Shivs, we may as well get one
Commander,
of
to the
these.
situation
Might as well get
room.
one each.
That's basically just like equipment you can equip to them, like our soldiers have grenades. It
Yeah.
gives them an extra shot.
Okay, off to the barracks.
Next thing is the barracks. Okay, so we have one person who's heading up in the assault. Well, actually, before I go into this, with the Long War mod, it's basically
Commander,
added
to
4
the
extra
situation
classes.
room. Commander, to the situation room.
There is, in the standard game, you've got assault, you've got the
Sniper.
sniper, you've got the support, and you've got the heavy, correct? But it's so long since I've played vanilla, I keep forgetting. But in this game, you've basically, each of those is split into 2. Like, the sniper is now a sniper or a scout, the assault is assault or infantry, support is medic or engineer, and heavy is rocketeer or gunner.
Commander, to the situation room.
And basically, you want to
Commander, to
choose
the
these
situation
based on
room.
this, like how many of each one you have already, obviously, and their stats. Because you can actually see here this incredible GUI which shows all the stats of the soldiers, which is something that the vanilla was really missing, just a simple thing.
Yeah, now I don't recognise all of the icons on here
Well,
for which class it wants.
well, first off, if I just go over the quick stats quickly. So we've got health, mobility, which is how fast somebody can move, basically how many squares they can move without dashing. You've got willpower, which is how they resist panic, how they resist certain mental attacks. Aim, and defense, which is basically their base defense without any cover. So it's nice having a good defense, really. And then you've got assault, which will split into infantry or assault, as I said. You've got the sniper
Commander
class,
to
which
the
will split
Situation
into
Room.
sniper or scout.
Commander to the Situation
Support,
Room.
which will split into medic or engineer. And heavy, which will split into rocketeer and gunner. Now, we've only got one pair that really cross. So typically, I'll admit, I'm usually in the frame of mind of holding off from promoting people because at the moment these guys are all fatigued. We're not going to be using these guys for at least 5 days. If we do, they will be basically, it's as if they're wounded and they become unusable completely for 15 days, as if they were shot in battle.
Right, because I was going to say we're going to need to start picking people from further down the list because they're ready to go.
Pretty much, yeah. So since we're not going to be using any of these in the next mission, I don't recommend promoting any. And we just hold off until we get the next mission done, and then we've got more to compare to.
There's no time limit on promotions, is there?
Nope. You can.
Okay, well in that
hold
case,
on to-
there really is no reason to promote them now.
Commander to
Cool.
the Situation
So we'll leave
Room.
that for now. How many soldiers do we have? We have 25 soldiers. We've got 2 ships as well. I'd recommend we hire a few soldiers as well, since we've got the money right now.
How many do you reckon? I reckon another 5?
I'd like to recommend 10, because bearing in mind that fatigue as well.
Okay,
If you don't have enough soldiers for a mission, then you are screwed.
Yeah, that's something I'm not really used to.
It's as I say, I've played a lot of this mod, and I tried going back to vanilla. I just couldn't.
Now, before we go to the Situation Room, let's not forget, we've got to name our own characters now.
Yes, we do. Are we wanting to do that now, or do we want to hold off until we've got them promoted so we can actually choose?
Commander to the Situation Room. Commander to the Situation Room.
I'd say we'll wait until we promote them for the first time,
And
so we
then-
can actually choose a class for them.
And then they won't be fatigued, so we can take them on their first mission as well as that
Yeah.
person.
Because also, if you want your personal character to be a particular class, you want to wait until it's given you options first.
That's it. That's what I was thinking. So actually, I did almost misclick going to Situation Room. First off, we want to go to the Hangar, because
We do want to transfer these, I believe.
we've got nowhere to transfer them to. Or at least if we transfer them here, we've got no satellites watching these areas.
Okay.
But we've only got 4 out of 6 of Europe, and I'd recommend just filling up this place, because UFOs are tough to shoot down in this mod.
Right, I
So-
also think you start with more Ravens than you would otherwise do.
You do, but you also have an extra 2 slots,
Okay.
similar to how the soldiers work. So, whoa, that's a lot
That's-
costlier than I thought it was.
That's expensive. Okay, I would say no.
Yeah,
I don't want to do it. I think 4 should be enough for now.
yeah, I think I'm with you there actually. But one thing we can do.
When
is, I
selecting a
believe-
specific jet within the hangar,
We can
choose
randomize
to
the names.
modify its current weapon loadout to best serve
So
our
should I just
needs.
random them, or do you want to actively go through them and?
I think. Can you rename the puke one just before I throw up?
Mongoose?
That'll do.
Fair enough. Birdman, Demon, Mongoose, and Stretch.
Oh god, that's a terrible list of names.
And those are the people in charge of shooting down UFOs.
So we
for
should
us.
Ah, this is different. Okay, now I noticed that the blocks aren't full. They actually
Yes.
work their way up,
Satellite
which is a lot
uplink
better than
facilities at
the
maximum
regular
capacity.
game.
Yes.
Additional
Also,
uplink
apparently we have
required.
0 available satellites, or have you got something selected there?
0. That was when we entered the
Okay.
satellite. It's what came up. But yeah, so basically, each country has a panic rating, which is a number between 0 and 100. I believe, or it might be 0 and 50. But basically, as you can see, these kind of fill up as
I'm
they go.
receiving you.
The numbers on
Mm.
that
We'll
point, you
monitor
just
that
basically see the
contact,
proportions.
but I don't think it's related to the
Now-
UFO activity.
Actually, I'm gonna yeah. So right now we've only got Germany paying us each month because we've got a satellite up in Germany.
Right.
Any UFOs that pass over Germany, we're going to see because of our satellite. Any activity that happens in Germany, we're
Mm.
going to see because of our satellite. The rest of the world, not so much. We'll hear about abductions, and we'll hear about a few other things, but for the most part, you don't have missions in areas that you don't have satellites up.
Okay.
That's the same as a vanilla game. As they have abduction missions, but other
Now,
than those...
can we really not...
Nothing to report at the moment.
Can we really
Reports
not
are clear.
have any more satellites up in the air?
Not this month. We're not going to get the satellite uplink built within the month.
How was it too expensive?
It was... If we go to facilities, we've got 2 power.
Yeah, that's not going to be enough, is it?
Oh yeah, so yeah, we need 5 power for satellite uplink, and if we're setting up generators up here, we need the 2 for this anyhow.
Okay.
So unfortunately, that's not a possibility right now. But it'll be something to kind of prioritise next month, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I like how when you zoom out, you can see the areas we haven't built yet.
Yep.
It's like no, these totally aren't here.
Just this over here. There's going to be a steam generators. That's kind of cool. Already excavated there. But yeah, that is like quite a nice little feature, I think. And they're building the workshop there. But anyway, I think go to mission control.
Yeah, let's do this. Scan for activity.
I've got all the stuff that's happening over here. Sawed-off shotguns are done.
Oh yes.
Don't need to assign new projects, so carry on.
Carry on my way with some.
No.
Wow. Okay.
And we've got an abduction site. Now, this works a little differently to vanilla as well.
Well, let's not get carried
We
away.
picked up multiple requests
In vanilla,
for assistance.
got
Abductions in progress are marked.
Oh damn! There's gonna be a lot of those.
Ah.
You signed up for this.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, people who are used to playing vanilla will be used to having the choice of 3 countries where abductions are. However, in Long War, you get 1 abduction that happens at a time. Because realistically, you're not going to have 3 things happening at exactly the same time. So rather than be able to go and to do 1, you're able to basically do 1 and then there'll be another abduction. Usually, there's a few abductions kind of bundled together, but you're able to react to them all rather than just the 1.
Yeah.
However, rather than getting scientists and engineers, you typically only get money as a reward.
Yeah. Well, that should be okay for now. So let's do this.
Yes. Okay. These are the first available soldiers that aren't fatigued on the list, going top down. So,
At the moment, that should be fine.
okay. Now we have the equipment, which is different to vanilla, as I said before. You'll notice that they've got no sleeves right now because there are 2 types of armour. To start off with, you have the tack armour, which basically gives them an extra hit point but reduces mobility by 2, or the tack
By
vest. Reduces mobility by 1. For
On
the
the
tack
default.
vest, which gives you 1 extra hit point rather than 2, but increases your mobility by 1, which is why I was thinking minus
Yeah,
2. Typically, I go for tack armour because
Yeah.
the extra speed.
I'm more of a defensive person anyway, so I'll go for the exact same thing.
So I might take it off every so often, like if I've got a sniper or something that's wanting to move around and
Yeah.
not really be in the firefight, then it's very useful to have that. Now you have the weapons, which normally by standard you have the assault rifle and that's it. In this, you have a bit extra. You have the SMG, which basically gives you 3 extra mobility, but reduces damage and crit damage, and also the critical hit chances.
Right.
And only has 2 shots before you got to reload. You've got the assault rifle, which has 3 shots before you got to reload, has fairly average damage and a fairly average crit chance for and damage for the starter weapons. And you've got the assault carbine, which basically gives you a bit of extra mobility, extra accuracy, but does less damage and less chance of crits.
So you've got a chance of moving around, or an average one, or more accuracy but less damage.
Yeah, and also a bit of extra mobility compared to the assault rifle.
To be honest, I really do like the fact that there are different options, but I'm just going to pick assault rifles.
That's fair. I will usually leave it up to the soldier in question, but in this case he's got good aim anyway, and
Yeah.
12 ain't bad as mobility,
Yeah.
so...
I was going to say I might give the carbine to someone with a low aim, just so they can actually hit something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But pistol, we have the choice of machine pistol or pistol. This is basically, it's minus 10 accuracy on the turn you change to it, so you can't kind of have somebody come up to you and then take it out in reaction to them getting too close or whatever. It also is harder to hit at longer ranges, as it says. I'm going to stick to pistol. I don't see the reason for machine pistol personally.
Yeah, I would do the same.
And this is limited to, as I said previously, it's limited to infantry, assault, scout, medic, and engineer. Okay, next off, going down the long list. These explanations will only be going on for the first 2 episodes, folks, I promise. By the way, don't get bored of my droning voice and wander off just yet. Please. you have the choice of all these nice little items to start off with. So, going down the list, you have alien trophies, which gives the soldier the steadfast perk, meaning that they won't panic when an ally is killed, wounded, or panicking, which is nice, but I don't see the point in it. Originally, these gave you a will bonus, which was much better in my opinion. Battle scanner, which is basically...
This used to be just an ability for the sniper, didn't it?
You'll notice that for a few of this equipment. But yeah, this basically reveals a portion of the battlefield to you for 2 turns, I think it is. And it also, any stealth units that go into that area will be revealed. You have ceramic plating, which is 1 extra hit point to the soldier.
It's also in case your soldier's into pottery making.
Yes. No. The other thing. No. You have the AP grenade, which we demonstrated in the first mission. Affects units that are hit from behind cover, so it won't go through cover, but it'll be fairly devastating from if it hits them from behind cover or whatever. You have the flashbang grenade, again demonstrated in the last mission. Gets rid of suffer significant aim and movement penalties during the next turn. Doesn't affect psionic or robotic units, or at least advanced psionic. Smoke grenade, which basically gives a defense bonus of 20 or 30, I think it is, to every unit within the cloud. You have the HE grenades, which will destroy cover, or have the chance of destroying cover, and will hit things through cover. You have the high cap mags, which basically give you 1 extra shot, I believe, or 1 extra shot. It basically gives you the lock and load perk, which gives you 1 extra shot before you have to reload. Laser sight, which is +5 aim to your primary weapon and rocket launchers. And Medikit, which is a must. You've got to have at least one of those in the field. I recommend it. It restores 3 extra hit points, and also if a soldier goes down and isn't quite dead, but is completely wounded, you can revive them, which means you don't lose the soldier, which would have otherwise been killed. There's also, if you are a Rocketeer, you can have extra rockets or shredder rockets. Well, I'll go into those when we actually have a Rocketeer.
That's a lot of different selections. I'm liking that.
Yeah, this game adds a lot of extra strategy to the game. It's
Now, before you go into this, we do need to customise them a bit, so we've got teams. So
yes.
colours.
Yes, we do. The one thing I was going to do before selecting any of my equipment is quickly check what everybody's wills are, because we want to give the medkit to the person with the best will. That way they're least likely to panic when the medkit is needed.
34, that's the highest. 39, fantastic.
29 and 28, so 39?
Yep.
Okay. It's actually got a medkit, so everybody else but Lebedev can go with our medkit.
I would have 2 medkits on the field personally, because if the guy with the medkit gets taken down, you have a bit of a problem there.
That's fair. I'll keep Robinson with 1 then, since she had 35 will.
Okay.
Who is going to have a... So he's got a good aim, but I tend to when I see a soldier with good aim, I actually give them the laser sight on top of that, because that means that if he was likely to hit, he's now even more likely. This is basically going to be my side's main gunner. Basically, if I've got somebody that needs to shoot a target, it's going to be him, because he's stacked out in that. Whereas the others, I can focus on flanking and using other tactics to support him.
Okay.
On top of that, he doesn't have a very good mobility, so I'm not going to give him anything that is really that, like any grenades that need to go over cover, or like a flashbang or AP. So I think I'm actually going to go high cap mags. That means that basically I can keep him on Overwatch more often as well.
Yeah, I mean, if he's got better aim, you're going to be using him for a lot of precision stuff, so the more shots you can get, the better.
That's my way of thinking. Now, she has 64 aim, and she's already got she's got a pretty good mobility as well. So I'm actually thinking I'll give her an assault carbine. That gets her aim up to 71, and she's got 14 mobility, which is great. So I'm going to give her a flashbang and an AP, which I just actually got rid of to get that flashbang, since those are both things that you need to kind of get up to the enemy to use them.
Yeah.
And she's the most likely to be able to actually do that in a single move without putting risk to anything. This lass has 11 movement, a lot like my original guy, but I'm going to swap her to the carbine as well. So she's now got a slightly better movement. Give her a battle scanner and actually no, I'm going to give her a smoke and a medkit. And yours?
Right.
I will say one thing, later on it becomes very important that we have battle scanners on us, because if you come across a stealth unit, you pretty much can't react to it until it does something first, unless you have a scanner.
Now, this guy's pretty slow. So...
It's only 1 less damage for the carbine, and it's extra accuracy, as well as mobility.
Yeah, is it just the SMG that gives less movement?
SMG gives +3 movement,
Okay.
whereas the assault rifle gives you no extra bonuses to movement.
I think I'm gonna... Yeah, I'm gonna give him the assault carbine for now. Pistol, yeah, with the same. Was it this guy who's keeping the
Yes, the
medkit?
medkit, because he's got 39 will.
Okay. And as for this, he doesn't have much HP, but I don't know if that's going to be a problem straight off.
He has 6, unless he's actively getting flanked and crit hit. In the first 2 missions, that shouldn't be a problem. And if he's getting flanked and crit hit, he's got bigger problems than not having enough health.
Now, as he's my medic and he's going to be hanging back a bit, I'm going to give him a battle scanner.
That makes sense.
Yeah, right, next one. Nope, that's not the next one. I clicked the next one, I was expecting to get the next guy. Okay,
Actually, too much common sense.
right, what's this guy got? About the same, really.
He's got a good mobility. 14 standard mobility. Pretty average aim. Not great defense, but not bad defense. Again, same with the will, and honesty. He's pretty average all over, except for his mobility.
He's got a better crit chance. Base damage 3 to 5. What's this one? 2 4. Okay. I'm gonna give him assault rifle. Just for a bit of a variation. And his mobility's okay. I think I'm gonna keep him AP and flashbang.
Yeah, makes sense.
Just so I've got someone with a bit of utility. And then this guy, he's pretty tough compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
Oops.
Good mobility again as well.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is, again, just for a bit of variety, give him an SMG.
Okay.
See how he likes it. And a machine pistol. Do the machine pistol and SMG reduce aim?
No,
No, they don't.
they don't increase.
So he doesn't
either.
need the laser sight.
Although the machine pistol does become less useful at a distance. So it's kind of like a shotgun in the way that the aim reduces the further away the target is.
I'm going to keep an AP grenade for now, because he's going to need that if he's going to run in places. And as for this one, the SMG machine pistol don't have much ammo, do they?
They don't, it's like 2 shots each. However,
Yeah.
Hack Mags only affects the primary weapon, I should mention.
True.
So that's
but-
an extra shot in the SMG, which could still save the day, admittedly.
Base ammo 2.
Goes
Yeah.
from 2 to 3.
Yeah, high cap mags, definitely.
Okay.
Alrighty then. Now, we're going to customise our characters more when we've got proper
Actual
teams
teams.
set up and actual named characters, but that should be good for now.
Just before you click launch, actually, I'm going to quickly change my medic's weapon. So I thought about it while you were looking at your stuff. She's going to have an SMG. That way, she's got an extra bit of movement, which means that it could be the difference between her getting somebody and healing them, and not.
Right, let's rock and roll.
Launch mission.
Thunderbirds are go!
Thunderbirds, I know.
You clearly didn't have a childhood. Just saying.
I watched Thunderbirds, but
We have visual
I
on
was
the
more
mission
of a
site.
Captain
Setting
Scarlet
down.
person.
Yeah, why not watch them both?
We're moving into Argentina next.
I'm sorry.
Right there seems
It's
to be the
creepy
most
and you
pressing.
have so much time around them.
What about
Alien
Stingray, huh?
activity continues to surge
Stingray?
within several
You never
major
watched
cities.
Stingray?
It rings a
response
bell.
is crucial
I
to
can't
many-
remember it.
Well, tell you what, that's something you're going to have to YouTube later on.